welcome to the video. Welcome to Dusty Lucky Blonde. Happy Halloween 2025. Back to the 80s. So, how many of you guys thought it was cool to hang out with your parents during the weekends? There wasn't much for us to do, really. So we went to the weekends. We went to the mall during the weekends. And we all got in my aunt's station wagon and we went to the mall. We looked around. We had more variety back then. Let me tell you what we had. We had toy stores, we had music stores. We had a fountain. It wasn't exactly a water fountain, but it was a fountain and you can put your pennies in. I remember walking by that every time we went into the mall. Every time we went to the mall. I can't remember where it was in the mall, but when it was in the mall, we were always past it. And then I was touched the lights. The lights were hot, but it was a mall fountain. I'm really glad they got rid of it because somebody would probably do something bad to them. I don't know with this generation, but I surely appreciate it. And every mall and everywhere had a mall fountain. Mine did. It was like, at first I thought, why was there a swimming pool in the middle of the mall? I mean, do you swim in it or what? Because it was almost the size of a swimming pool. Well, it's not like you can do laps or anything. It's like, and it's like, oh, they put a swimming pool in the mall. No, it wasn't a swimming pool. It was a fountain, and water came out of it, and it had orange lights, I think. First of all, the first time I went to that mall with my aunt, I was thinking, why did they put a swimming pool in the mall? And it's not a swimming pool, it was a mall fountain. I remember the lights. They were that orange, like the sun, and then they had the little bars, or like the deal. I can't describe it. And I wanted to touch them one time, and they weren't that hot, but they were hot though. And how many of you ever walked into a mall and you saw a mall fountain? I think some of the places where I walk in the mall, you can still see the drain. First of all, I thought they put a swimming pool in the mall, but it was just a community fountain. So, and that wasn't we had a store. I'll tell you what we had in the store, right? We had KB Toy Store, Gazooks, Radio Shack. Yeah, we had Radio Shack. And then we had Walgreens. Walgreens is still around, but it was in the mall for the longest time. And then we had Gazooks before there was Hot Topic. And we had Sears. We had pet stores, which we found out were really bad. And then we had record stores. Then we had arcades. We had video games at home, but we went to the arcades. Now, that was our hangout. That was our thing to do. And we didn't have anything else at the time, so I don't think I envy too much about other people because I really don't envy. I really don't. I actually like being in the mall. It was fun. It was great exercise. Oh, and we had a Chick-fil-A in the Chick-fil-A still around. And then we had a Payless. They went out of business. Payless should have never went out of business. I mean, seriously, Payless should have never went out of business because my mom, my aunt were always in that store and buying shoes. Although they never had my size. Well, I have difficult feet, so. But it was always fun to go into the Payless in the mall, which is gone. Are you gonna revamp that, Payless? I mean, seriously, are you gonna revamp it? You can, but I don't know. Adopt it. Adopt Payless. Shoe store. I mean, come on, shoe stores were the thing. Even Al Bundy was a shoe salesman. You can't beat the 80s, man. So, what else do we have in the mall? Oh, we did have an expensive store one time, and that survived in the 80s. They got their rent on time. Okay. My aunt, like one of the stores that I went to, and it's no longer there. It was called Small World, right? And there was this suction cup teddy bear, right? And my aunt was so thrilled about it. And I don't know what she thought was funny about it. It was pink. I remember it was pink. It had a t-shirt and some pants on, and it was face to this back face to the. That was not the kind of suction cup I would ever have on my deal. So then there was a string. You pull the pants down, and it would moon you. And I'm like, okay. I also remembered that you could walk through the entire Dillard's, and Dillard's had no cutoff. It was the entire deal of Dillard's. And we had Beagle Boy. What was the other store I'm not thinking of? If you survived the 80s, that's great. If you survived the pandemic, that's even greater. Radio Shack. I know the new and improved is exciting, but the 80s was so much better. Sorry. So with that being said, oh, what am I thinking else? What else do they have in the 80s? Trying to think. Trying to think here. Trying to think. They had a dollar store in there one time, and I would always go into the dollar store, go shopping. But they even had a thrift store in there too. So the next time this generation my generation criticizes the 80s, I have to honestly say things were better back then. I mean, there's always something good about a year, but that's about it. So happy Halloween. Let's see how we done.